Hey folks, Keith with 93 Lumber coming back at you with another beer and some friends. We've got Joe from the Beer Patrol over here. And then we got Kyle from No Hype Beer Reviews down here. And say hello, guys. Or you could just keep pointing, whatever you want to do.
What's up, Keith? It's great to be on your channel, Keith. I don't know if I've ever done a pre-recorded, actually non-live thing on your channel, so I feel so honored. I don't know. I feel so honored.
Oh.
Like real honored.
Oh, there's probably some BeerTuber Palooza. BeerTuber Palooza stuff.
That doesn't count.
Oh.
Or maybe it does. I guess I don't know.
All right, so this is Bhramari Brewing, if that's how you pronounce it. It is their Cubism Dream. It is a bourbon barrel-aged German Pilsner. More on the barrel aging in a moment. I'll let those guys show you the can and stuff. It is 7.6% alcohol by volume. It is a German Pilsner rested in Woodford Double Oak, Heaven Hill, 1792, and Buffalo Trace barrels. And yeah, there's no date on this can. But I brought this back from Asheville, which was September, maybe? I don't remember. It's been a few months at least.
Just want to point out, it says, drink immediately, keep cold, no date.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you, Bhramari.
So yeah, I did have this when I was at the brewery, but I do not remember. I remember liking it, but I don't remember much else.
Mine's gushing out ever so slightly. I don't know if you guys are having the same thing.
I got like sediment. Mine's not gushing, but there's some sediment, which is cool.
And I'm pouring it like an idiot, which is always a good. Jesus, yeah. Mine's a little carbonated.
Yeah,
just a little bit, boys. Not crazy or anything.
Yeah,
looks like cider, like hard cider almost.
Yeah, dude. It does. It looks weird. It looks real weird.
Holding it up to the light, it looks like apple juice, but it has sediment in it.
Yeah.
Look at the fucking chunks. I don't know. There's chunks just hanging out of this fucking thing.
Yeah, I'm trying to get.
Yeah, I don't
know if the camera's picking up the chunks, but yeah, I mean, it's got like black, brown specks. Yeah.
Yeah, it's looks kind of gross in general.
Yeah. Joe has a huge head, but I don't have much of a head. And then Kyle has a little bit more than I do. So
yeah, like I said, mine was, I cracked it open, it was gushing out a little bit, and I poured it, and it was aggressive with the carbonation. So I don't know. It's been kept cold ever since you gave it to me, and my coldest fridge too. So yeah. I don't know.
You want to see what it smells like?
Yeah.
Sure. Okay. Definitely vanillins, the bourbon.
Yeah.
100% in your face.
I was gonna say it kind of smells like apple juice too.
I was just gonna say that.
It kind of has a.
It kind of smells like
apple-y kind of thing.
If this
or apple cider, I would say, yeah,
like an apple, caramel covered apple bourbon soaked, like a bourbon soaked version of something like that. I don't know if those exist. If they do, they're delicious, I'd imagine. But
yeah, because that caramel is pretty darn strong.
Yeah, it is, dude. It's like, and usually with like Pilsners, you don't really want strong caramel for the most part. You want breadiness, biscuity, crackery, not caramel.
Yeah, it's like breaking my brain.
I say this a lot. I said it probably at Beer Tour Palooza, but those bullseye candies, the caramel and the vanilla, kind of like those sweetness level.
I don't know if I'm getting that much caramel on this.
No,
but maybe a little bit, but
it's real. But you can mistake it maybe as like toffee or like a brown sugar, but like caramelized sugars in general. But I lean more towards like caramel itself.
That was actually the first thing I got when I smelled it. It was like a caramel thing. It
was for me. It was the caramel and vanilla kind of bourbon-esque.
Yeah.
But then that apple hit, and I was like, oh,
yeah,
hello, apple. Yeah. So I'll just say it. This has very little remnants of a German Pilsner at all. Like if I was doing this as a mystery beer, not a joke, mystery beer. There's no way I'd be even in the realm of a barrel-aged German Pilsner. Not even close.
I would be thinking like a wheat wine. That's where my mind would go.
This is way more boozy than 7.6 on the nose, like 100% more boozy. Yeah. It's so bourbon forward and like spirit forward, and like this is barrel aged. There's no mistaking it. It's not like maybe this is no, this is barrel aged, 100%. No mistaking it whatsoever. Getting maybe a little bit of the like sulfury like lager thing. I think it's crazy. My nostrils are like burning from the alcohol, and it's not even that big. It's just like a beer from like 12 years ago.
It just smells like a bourbon barrel aged like apple cider to me.
Yeah.
That's what it tastes like or smells like rather.
I mean, I think the only thing you're getting different than Kyle and I is we're just getting more caramel. So but we're in the same realm. It's just like bourbon barrel aged apple, a little bit of caramel. Like,
yeah.
Does it smell good? It smells all right.
Ooh, yeah.
Oh,
it smells pretty solid.
You wanna get into it?
I do.
All right. Yes, I do. All right. Cheers, boys.
Cheers.
Despite the aggressive carbonation that I thought it had, my beer is almost flat. Believe it or not.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Mine doesn't have much carbonation either.
Oh no, neither does mine. It just Joe's wood.
It's like a touch over, like it's like mild carbonation at best, like somewhere in that realm. But like with the head it poured and the like kind of gushing, I was like, oh, this is gonna. And it looked like it had decent carbonation. It's not.
I get a lot of what we talked about with the aroma, with like this little apple thing, more cidery than anything else.
I get more pear than apple in the taste for me. Like the nose was apple, but now I'm getting more like of a white pear type of thing. Somewhere still in that realm, but like pear. But I'm still getting the caramel. Maybe not as big as the nose, but it's there.
Yeah.
Vanilla, the oaky, like tannin dryness, the bourbon, sweet bourbon. See, now what's weird is on the finish, it's just like I ate a slice of apple. It really is, like right on the back of my tongue. It's wild.
I do get that apple thing, and I think the easiest, like the aftertaste is easiest where I can tell that this was a lager at some point. Like I get a little bit of that like lager fermentation taste, and but other than that, it's hard to pick it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't dislike it. It's just kind of weird, like in general. Like it's just a weird thing to my palate.
Yeah. It'd probably be a little bit better if there was a little bit more carbonation too.
Yeah. Considering it's a German Pilsner, like that was the first thing I was hoping is like it's crispy. I know it has a nice firm, moderate like carbonation, and mine just does not. And like you pour it, has a decent head and everything, and it's just like nope.
Because without the carbonation, it kind of follows the nose where it kind of tastes like it's bourbon barrel aged apple cider a little bit. It has a few differences from the nose, but it's very that for me at least.
I don't know if you guys know this. Oh, go ahead, Joe.
No, go ahead. I'll go to you first.
Well, I mean, you guys know this about me, but I really like bourbon barrel aged like stouts and barley wines. Yeah.
No, I had no idea.
No, but it's I tell you what, what's fun about this beer is like going from all that stuff to a smaller base that was aged in these barrels to kind of just like amplify what the barrel is bringing to this beer. Like that caramel note, for example, it's like, oh, wow, I can get a decent amount, obviously just from the barrel. It's almost like fun and like informative. Besides just kind of being, I mean, I do think this is tasty. This would have been like the most bonkers mystery beer, like Joe was saying.
That's what I was gonna say. I was like, if we were doing this right now as a mystery beer and we all had the same beer, like I would guess 100%, I'd say this is a bourbon barrel aged apple ale or like something with apple. Like I would swear there's a fruit component that's an actual fruit, and I'm pretty sure I think apple or pear in here. And I don't know if I've ever had a beer that has this much of that apple pear note without actually having the fruit in it ever. Like it's so noticeable and intense that you're kind of like my entire palate, like I'm like, oh, it's sweet apple. And then on the back of the palate, I'm like, that's just like I like bit into an apple. Like the after effects of me swallowing that piece is just lingering on my tongue. It's good. It's just weird. I don't know.
I'm not familiar with all of these bourbons, but is one of the, do you guys know, is one of them apple-y? Like, where is that apple coming from?
I don't know. This is where we would need a bourbon expert here, or somebody who actually drinks it regularly.
I mean, Heaven Hill and Buffalo Trace, I've had enough times beers aged in those barrels. I've never gotten apple.
And I also want to specify one thing. We're not getting green apple, so it's not it's not like an actual off flavor, an infection or anything. It's like actual sweet red apple or any kind of like sweeter apple, not sour, not sour. Just want to clarify that, because some people might come to the review and be like, you're probably getting that green apple. I forget what the actual.
Yeah, it's not that.
No, it's not.
I wonder if it's just a combination of the bourbon barrel aging and the beer.
It could be.
Because Joe...
go ahead. Go ahead.
I was going to say, I don't know if you said it on here, but before this, at least, you were saying, like, depending on how they barrel aged it and stuff, they might have brewed 6.5% German Pilsner. So it might be some of that malty sweetness and the vanilla and the whatever that is given those apple vibes off.
Yeah, because the discussion I had off air before we started this is that typically with German Pilsners are lower ABV. You're on 5.5, sometimes 6. But this is a 7.6% barrel-aged German Pilsner. Now, how wet are all these barrels to be having a significant impact on the base? Even if it was like you got like a 0.5% to like 1% seeped in, then you're still talking about a 6.5 to 7% German Pilsner, which at that point you can probably clarify it as a Imperial German Pilsner. So how much more malt are they using? What would be the ramifications of using more ingredients to bump up the ABV? Maybe it is more apples, pear, whatever kind of fruity esters we're getting. Maybe it's the barrel. Maybe it's, like you said, a combination of both. Who knows? All I know is we all are getting a substantial apple flavor that you wouldn't probably see in a 5% German Pils.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm thinking, just coming from the base beer. It kind of reminds me, going back to the wheat wine thing, the reason that in my brain it's like bourbon barrel-aged wheat wine is making me think of that Goose Island, Bourbon County...
Carmela,
or whatever it was called. Yeah, it's like a light version of that in my brain.
It's definitely very malt forward too. Like there's not a lot of bitterness or anything. Yeah. Which is another thing with German Pilsner brings to the table, is like a nice moderate bitterness to balance it out. This is like, I mean, it's almost like a lager wine or something. You know what I mean? Just like, like Jack's Abbey does, like the Baby Maker and the whatever the different. It's like that beer, but like 3-4% lower. I don't know. It's a fun beer. It's pretty enjoyable, but it's not exactly what I was expecting.
Yeah. The thing that I do remember about having it at the brewery was I remember it not tasting like this. And I know they contract out their canning and is brewing. Yeah. So they contract out the brewing and canning for some of this stuff. So I don't know if what I had at the brewery was a different thing than this or not, but yeah.
I don't know. It's enjoyable. I mean, I don't dislike it. It's not like amazing or anything, but it's fine. It's a different kind of unique beer that I don't think I've drank anything exactly like this before.
Yeah. The more I drink it, the more I like it, but it's definitely not what it's kind of marketed as.
For me too, like I'm not necessarily getting the alcohol either, which is nice. Like I'm getting the spirit, and I know it's a bigger beer, but it's not like I have a huge warming in my chest. There's no like astringency. It's not, as the kids would say, it's not hot. It's just, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Thank you for sharing, Keith.
Yeah, no, appreciate having us on and sharing the beer. I was just trying to look up what people were saying on Untappd, but nothing of use posted.
I don't like bourbon barrel aged Pilsner, 0.25.
Yeah, it was. And I also went to the brewer's website. Their tasting notes were barrel agey crispy or something like that. Is all they wrote for tasting notes. I don't
barrel agey crispy.
Barrel agey, sure, but not crispy.
I know it's the opposite of crispy. Yeah, it's fun though. This is my first beer I had from them. I think you gave me another one that I'm still need to review, Keith. But outside, like, this is the first one I had. It's interesting. It's an interesting beer.
Yeah. Thanks for joining me in this endeavor.
And an endeavor it was. One of Keith's shorter reviews. He had 2 people and he gets a shorter review. It's crazy.
I'm not sure how that exactly works. I was hoping. Yeah, I was hoping that like some kind of rant was going to be worked into the equation. No ranting. I don't know. We're going to have to end it like early.
We didn't even hit the 20-minute mark.
Yeah, it's sub 20 minutes. No one's watching this.
Does YouTube let you post videos that are under 20 minutes? I don't know.
It would have been hilarious if at the beginning you just went, "Hey, folks," and just for like a half a minute didn't say anything as we're sitting here going, "Is he froze? What happened?"
All right. Do you guys have any final thoughts or questions or concerns?
I don't.
No? Okay.
My final thoughts are, Rami, why? Just why? Just in general, why? No, it's. I'm glad that it was at least a solid beer and enjoyable to some degree.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes things like this, they go sideways. It didn't. So I'm thankful for that. Wish we would have been able to get the barrel agey crispy part, pick up on that. We did not. But outside of that, it's a fun beer. It's a fun beer. I wouldn't say necessarily pick this up if you were to see it and it's still on the shelves because I don't know, unless you're into like barrel aged apple juice, I guess, or apple cider. But, that's your jam. Get out.
Have I got the beer for you?
All right. We'll go from bottom to top. Kyle, where can people find you?
No Hype Beer Reviews on YouTube and Instagram and Untappd.
Can't forget the 0.25 out of 5 on tap.
And Joe?
Just here. The Beer Patrol. YouTubes. I just stalk people on Instagram. By people, I mean other beer tubers. It's like I use Instagram solely for messaging purposes because YouTube doesn't have one. So it's like, hey, man, I'll hit you in the DMs if you want to do this live review or whatever. It's like very easy. So outside of that, yeah, I use on tap Average Joe 716, but I pretty much just post what I review on YouTube. So it's kind of counterproductive unless you don't watch my reviews. Then you're better for it.
I'll put their details down in the thingy of the video. So check them out.
The thingy.
Just to put our names on his thingy down below.
If you're watching this, though, you already follow both of these guys, so it doesn't matter.
I probably not.
But yeah, you should like this video and subscribe to the channel and their channels. You can follow me on Instagram at 93lumber, spelled out 93lumber.
Spell the fucking thing out too. Don't make us come after you. Spell it out.
Thanks for hanging out, guys.
Thanks for having us.
Cheers.
Cheers, boys.